Hello everyone and welcome to my new video. And what is this video about? Well, it's slightly different this time, different production value, different software. I'm in MaxMSP. Why am I in MaxMSP? Well, suddenly, randomly out of nowhere, I kind of just out of nowhere, suddenly, randomly out of nowhere, suddenly, I just had this huge creative burst and decided to start this project where I'm basically just going to build my own kind of soft modular environment for doing improvised music. And I've started on a handful of things, and the one that's kind of closest to being ready to go to play with is this kind of chopper, sort of audio slicer chopper type thing. And I'm going to show you how it works. It's all kind of it's in a B patcher at the moment, and it just I've got 4 of them here. And the idea is that I'll be able to just drop them in and start playing straight away. But anyway, so I'll put some sounds in. So to start with, there are these 4 sound drop pools at the top here. So I will drop some sounds in. I prepared some sounds earlier. I got some sort of jungle type sort of aim and breaks here. And then once they're dropped in, they appear in these menus, and I can pick them. And let's okay, so the transport's going. Let's start it, see what it sounds like. Okay, so basically once you've dropped a sound in, you can tell it to sync to the transport. And you need to do that by choosing the length of the loop here. So if I set this to 2 bars, it will compress it or stretch it. Well, not time stretch it, but re-pitch it, similar to Ableton's re-pitch. I know that this drum loop is 1 bar long, so I'll select 1. And then basically what you do is, where do I start? There's actually loads of things. Okay, so basically let's go around here. So here we have the main, this is like where the audio will appear. And here is where you sort of slice it. You can start slicing it. And I'll show you that in a minute. And then over here, we have the different ways in which the slices play back. I'm going to add more, but this is what I've got so far. So this will play it forwards, backwards. That'll do like a pitch drop, pitch up, and then that time stretches. And then down here, we have different loop lengths so when it slices it, it also loops it. And you can have that looping for a 16th note or for a dotted crotchet, or you can go like really micro looping. And then on down here, we have output effects, and I'll just sort of show you them in a minute. And the way that it mostly works is with probability. So setting these sliders determines the chance that whatever that slider is going to do will happen. There are metro rates here for how often it changes from one slider to the other. And then down here, there's an overall probability for all of that stuff happening. So, and it's all kind of quantized. Everything should sort of start happening on a bar. Okay, so let's have a little go then. Let's start by, let's set some settings. It doesn't really quite load properly yet, so I kind of need to just quickly bang a few things. Okay, so those green things are a bit of a giveaway that it's starting to work now. So let's just isolate this. Let's just isolate this slice here. You can see that. Why don't we zoom in? Let's zoom in a little bit. A little bit more, maybe. Oh, that's lovely and big, isn't it? Okay, so right now I've just isolated this slice. So if I turn this up, nothing. Great start. So why? Oh, I need to choose the slices. There we go. Okay. So right now it is just starting on that slice there. If I bring up this, there we go. Okay. So now it's just playing that slice at a 8th note. You could bring in a 16th note. Okay. If you look down here, you can see it's moving between one slice and the other, one loop length and the other. I could bring in some more here. There we go. And I can change how fast this happens. Okay, but let's do something a little bit more interesting. Let's bring in some other. Okay, let's bring in some more. Okay, so that's basically a pretty even probability for all the slices. The first slice has the most amount of chance that it's going to play. We can change how often they move around. Okay, let's move to the playback effects. Right now, this is let's set this to four notes, whatever that is. So that is a 100% chance that will play forwards. Let's introduce it playing backwards. There we go. And then there's a pitch drop. Cool. And then there's a pitch up. Cool. And then there's a time stretch. The time stretch is incredibly lo-fi. It's very glitchy. I haven't put a window in there yet. I need to do that, but I don't care really. All right. So we're going to introduce it flipping around different. Whoops! Keep hitting my pop shield. We can introduce some different loop lengths here. Okay, cool. And of course we can have like the overall probability. So if I have that all the way down, then it'll just play normally. If I dial it in, we'll get it every once in a while. Cool. And then, yeah, we've got these output effects. So let's just, this is like a comb filter. What's this one? This is a phaser. This one is a low pass filter, and the way that it sweeps is predetermined also by the metros, the switching speed. So if I set this to 8, get some wobble there, but then that's also how often it switches between the various sweeps, the switches. So the modulation speed is the same as the clocking speed for which it switches. And we've got some other ones here. That's like a bit crusher. Frequency shifter ring mod. And that ramps up the volume. And this is nice, I find, with super fast loops. Get that fade in kind of thing. We can fade out as well. Okay. So that's pretty much all using the probability. There are also some different options here. If you look where it says prob, grab, and pop. So let's start with grab. Grab takes the last so many random probability values and then loops them over and over, which is kind of nice. So if the random does something quite nice that you hear, you can hit grab and it'll loop it over. So let's try that. Let's do it with something that's kind of a bit noticeable. Let's do it down here with the loop lengths. Let's just grab. So it's kind of repeating what just happened. Let's do it with the slices as well. Let's grab. There we go. So it's looping now, which is kind of fun. Let's try it with these. Sometimes it doesn't quite clock properly because I haven't sorted that out yet, so I'll just restart it. We can do that for all of them. So you can kind of find these nice, you can kind of make little grooves out of it as well. It's not just all random. And then the final one is pop. Now this is kind of my most favorite. I've been trying to get this to work was racking my brains, and I had to ask around for some help, but I found a solution anyway. So basically what this does is that it sets the sequence based on what are the most popular values in the slider. So let's try that with, let's put it back to probability for a minute. And okay, so let's just go for something that we can easily understand and hear. Okay, so let's go to pop, and this one is playing because that's the highest. So if I bring in another one, it's going to bounce between those two because that's the highest, that's the next highest. So if I go to this one, okay, that's like the least highest. So if I bring this one in, you can see that it goes from this one to this one to this one to this one, because it descends in order of the highest value. It's the popular, whatever's the most popular value gets priority. So you can kind of create little sequences just by setting values based on their height. You can kind of sequence. It's sort of like a sort of weird way of sequencing. Like, we could do the same for all the other sliders as well. So let's try it with the loop lengths here. Let's go to popular. Let's bring in this one. Cool, that works. So this could actually work for doing melodic sequences. So I've stolen the sample chain aesthetic from using the Electron Octatrack, and I created a sample chain of 808 kicks, which hopefully might sound all right on your headphones or speakers. So let's load that in. Let's load in. So what I did was I need to run it. Oh, there we go. So what I did was I created a scale. This is actually a blues scale, and there are, I can't remember how many slices there are. There are 16 slices. So we can turn the sync off so that it doesn't speed up or speed down the loop length. So effectively just using it like a regular sort of slicer. I'm not going to do that right now. Let's just go with, oh, okay, that sounds a bit stupid. Let's mellow out a little bit. Let's come down okay, so we're here in, we're back here in using the popular sequencer. You can see how it's very easy to quickly change the sequence just by adjusting a value, because it becomes less popular or more popular. So if I bring that one down, and we can do the same with, let's come over a little bit here. We can do the same with the loop lengths to give us different rhythms. So let's, that's not working as I thought. Okay. Okay. So you can start to get quite quickly, you can start to get quite weird sort of polymeter sort of sequences that are, because you're alternating the rhythms and you're alternating the notes, so you start to get these kind of weird patterns. We can do the same with the playback effect, so I can introduce okay, so that one is the highest at the moment. start to get some interesting little melodic ideas. Yeah, so I mean, it's a bit of a hassle to go and create a load of samples like that all going up in a scale, but actually once you sort of get into it, it doesn't take too long to do. And you could kind of use this as like a little sort of melodic riff sequencer or something. Works quite works quite nicely for bass lines though. Let's go back up to jungle speed. I'm not sure why that's not looping the way that I would expect. There we go. Okay, so let's go to this one. Let's bring in our. Oops, that's the wrong one. Whoops. Okay, I need to zoom out. I'm getting lost in my own. But let's go. Let's bring in another. Let's bring in this one here. So yeah, none of this stuff works. I have to just quickly bang all this crap. Whoa. Okay. Okay, nearly there. This is still in development. Doesn't work straight out of the box. So yeah, we could try and sequence a little bass line here. Okay, I'm going to bring in like a kind of vocal thing here. I've got this. Start mangling up the vocal and get some sort of robotic stuff. Come on then, play. Isn't this one working? Come on. Come on, you were being so good the other day. Still in development. Oh, I know. I always forget I need to set the slices. No. It says it's coming out there. What? Maybe I didn't plug it in. Maybe it's not actually plugged in. Oh, I see. It's because of that thing. All right. So this is actually a... that is... What's going on here? This is like another thing I'm sort of working on. And it's glitching out on me. Oh my days! Right, okay, I don't need you right now. Let's... There we go. Let's just not use that patch. Okay, so we've got some crazy birds.
Special request all the gal and 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 special request all the gal and
jungle. Of course, we can't just go like just max everything out and just go nuts. And then grab a bit. Okay, it's getting a bit silly now. So yeah, there was a little tour of some Mac stuff I've been working on, and maybe in a couple of weeks I'll come and do a little live performance with it, perhaps somehow. I'm going to do some other things. I'd quite like to make a like a looper type thing where I can loop parts of it, or that other thing that was there that I deleted was a probability mixer. So you plug everything into this mixer, and then again you set these probability values, and then it'll give you a chance of whether something will actually come through the mixer based on its probability. Anyway, so it's all probability bonkers. So I hope you enjoyed that, and maybe we'll do some more next time. Okay. And happy patching, as they say in MaxMSP world. Bye.